Aaron Rodgers, after a fairly controversial season where we talked a lot about will he or won't he win the MVP, will there be some people that don't vote for him because of all the off-the-field stuff? Turns out that wasn't really a factor, and Aaron Rodgers wins MVP of the regular season. And that got some people very upset because there are some people who they aren't actually football fans. They don't actually watch football. They don't know anything about football, and they still have the name of Colin Kaepernick in their mouths. And they think that somehow Aaron Rodgers winning the MVP while playing incredible on the field this year in the regular season, while saying some, quote, controversial things off, has anything to do with Colin Kaepernick. Look at this stupid article. Twitter users invoke Colin Kaepernick after Aaron Rodgers wins MVP. Look at all this stupid stuff. Here's Joe Madison. Aaron Rodgers gets rewarded with MVP even after lying to the entire country. Colin Kaepernick will probably never play in the NFL again for speaking the truth. Aaron Rodgers won MVP because of what he did on the field. Colin Kaepernick is no longer in the NFL for what he did on the field. Those are just the facts, regardless of whatever way you want to spin it. But this is a narrative that continues to be perpetuated by the mainstream media, by blue check marks, by blue and on losers, by leftists, and by absolute fucking reasons. I mean, what do you got to say about this, Jeremy?
I mean, if we remember, Susan Sarandon was defending Colin Kaepernick years ago. Susan Sarandon. Does anyone think Susan Sarandon knows anything about sports whatsoever?
No.
Because she doesn't. She knows nothing about it. Yet she decided to talk about how Colin Kaepernick is so brave and stunning, and he deserves to be in the NFL. And it's like, you don't know anything. These are the types of people that are defending Colin Kaepernick. It's
did
all
she
about.
Not know he got benched for playing Gabbard? Did she not know that?
Exactly. And so again, I will bring up one Tim Tebow, because the difference is Tim Tebow didn't get a chance to fail on the field. Colin Kaepernick did fail on the field. Yes, he was successful. I liked Colin Kaepernick. I enjoyed watching him play in San Francisco those couple of years under Jim Harbaugh. And he was great. He was great, but it was short-lived. And as soon as Jim Harbaugh left and the NFL figured him out, this dude collapsed incredibly. Like, it was horrible how bad he was. He failed on the field to the point where Blaine Gabbert had to take over. And then he realized that he had been exposed, because it's a common thing in the NFL. A lot of young quarterbacks are successful, immediately out of the gate until the NFL gets a little bit of game film on you. I think those are there's two variables that went into the Colin Kaepernick thing. He's an incredible athlete, and he brought a lot to the table. And so the NFL didn't really have him figured out yet. And he had Jim Harbaugh. Once Jim Harbaugh left, you had Harbaugh gone and you had game film on him. And both of those things led to him being an absolutely horrendous quarterback who failed on the field, who eventually got benched. And then Colin Kaepernick, like the social justice warrior that he is, didn't want to work to try and earn himself back into the NFL. He decided it would be more profitable to become a fake victim. Every time he got an opportunity, he wanted top tier money. He was not willing to take the league minimum. There was one
Seahawks wanted to sign him. The Seahawks wanted to sign him, but they couldn't because he wanted more money. Because he wanted starter money to be a backup to Russell Wilson. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He torpedoed every chance he had.
The Ravens,
the Ravens were going to sign him.
The Ravens were going to sign him, and then his crazy SJW girlfriend basically called the owner a slave owner and made all these jokes about Ray Lewis and the owner. It was awful. And it was like, why would you? Nobody's going to take that crap on. No one. So he destroyed every opportunity he could so he could continue to push the fake victim narrative.
Yeah. Then the NFL got a representative from every single NFL team to go and watch him work out.
Yep.
They've never done that for any player in the history of the NFL.
Nope.
And he doesn't show up. He moves the workout to another location.
He decided to make it part of an advertisement for Nike. That's what happened. It was all to continue to speak this propaganda bullshit that only dumb people fall for. Low IQ people fall for this. For every single person, and I put out this tweet the other day, and it's still getting a ton of traction for some reason. Every time I see Colin Kaepernick trending, I remember there are dumb fucks in this world who think this loser's actually good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL right now. For every single racist in the comments, who said things about Colin Kaepernick and myself, Colin Kaepernick has used you. Colin Kaepernick has used every black person who's pretending like Colin Kaepernick is a victim. You've been used by Colin Kaepernick to further this victimhood narrative, and it is absolutely pathetic. He has torpedoed every chance he had to get back in the league. You can't even argue that. This is the guy who took over after Alex Smith took them to the NFC Championship game. That team was already playing well when Colin Kaepernick took over.
Yes.
What Jim Harbaugh did with that team was incredible. He had them playing at a high level. He did everything that Kaepernick needed him to do to accentuate what he could do and hide what he could not do. The NFL figured him out. One of the worst quarterbacks in the league his last 2 seasons, he got his ass benched. And it wasn't until he was benched that he said anything about social justice. This man's a fraud.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you like Colin Kaepernick was extremely and again, I don't have a problem with this at all, to be clear, but he was very arrogant when he was on top. He was taking pictures, flexing his muscles. He was hanging out with all these, hot women and, big houses. He was making jokes about, different hats he was wearing. He was just very, very dismissive of things. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But then you want to complain to be a fake victim and that police are doing all these horrible things. Who was protecting you in the Super Bowl when you were walking around doing media and all that? Police officers were. So, these people didn't follow Colin Kaepernick when he was actually relevant in the NFL. I did. And I liked him. I liked him. I liked watching him play. I thought he was really, entertaining to play. But I watched him fail as well. I watched it. As soon as Harbaugh left, he started to fail, and it was bad. He was really fucking bad. Really bad. So the people that are out there talking about Colin Kaepernick know nothing about football. They know nothing about the NFL. They never watched it. They just see someone that they can leech onto so they can continue to push that victim narrative. That's it.
Yeah. And they're going to continue to do it. I mean, we can have Tom Brady the fourth in the NFL, and they'll say, well, Tom Brady the fourth shouldn't get this opportunity because Colin Kaepernick is still not in the NFL.
Yes.
30 fucking years later.
Yes, exactly. Because and he doesn't want to be. Jeremy's right. He doesn't want to be in the NFL. He doesn't want to work for it because it's far more profitable and better for his narrative that he be a victim. Because if he actually tried, imagine if he got back to the NFL, if someone, one of the multiple people who've tried to give him opportunities, if he actually accepted. And then he went out there and he looked like fucking dog shit. And everyone realized he didn't belong. His entire narrative, the way he makes money, would collapse. That's why he doesn't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Dude's a piece of shit.
He knows
Really
he'll go out there and get embarrassed right now. He knows that he would.